Okay, hello. So, we're gonna go over build making today for the Warriors. Starting off with Scud, as I had the most experience with him. Okay, so, the very first thing that a lot of people look at is the top builds with Scud, and this is one of the reasons why he's extremely underrated. When you look at the top build, they actually use normal attack, which doesn't make sense because he builds off of magic damage whenever he has more health than the enemy, which, if you don't have more health than the enemy, then that's a problem. So, the build starts pretty simple. Again, I don't really think any of the boots truly will just be game changing. Not with Scud. So, you see the slap on the illusions for Sonic boots, but I do think that having the ability to take a couple hits or of stun, it's not a bad thing. So the very first item we're going to go with Hyoga's Edge. Mage comes up, you want to be able to tank him. You also want to be able to tank Warrior, Jungle. I mean, it's just a pretty simple item. You can't ever go wrong with it. Second item, Soaring Aura. Now, already getting Hyoga's Edge out of the way, now you kind of build towards both of them, balancing you out. And at this point, at the point of the game where you're getting Soaring Aura, you have more than likely you're getting out of the landing phase and you're going to be able to start rotating, and you want that extra damage, and it's insane that it gives health as well with the benefits already. So the second item here is Frosty Revenge. Again, you could build more. The thing is, you don't need a lot of armor or defense because Scud gets a lot of health already. And these just keep solidifying it, giving you more damage on top of health. This is so good for catching your enemies, because that's the biggest problem with Scud, is he can't usually reach his opponent. If he has that Hayate, more than likely he's not getting away now with Frosty Revenge and Hyoga's Edge. But then again, Hayate could have the exact same item. So, the fourth item is it's a couple little iterations you could do. Odin's Will, makes you faster, do more damage. It's always a good thing. I know some people that do Orb of Magi. It's a little late in the game to be doing that, but I just say go for Holy of Holies. You get that health, you get more power, and then you just go for Rock Shield. Pretty simple build. Alright, I'm not going to be going into the jungles just because I don't see it necessary. So, with Omen, you do want to get Sonic boost. You have no reason for kill degrees. Sure, you can tank through some more stuns, but it's whatever. You're going to get way more normal attacks than any other character or anybody else in the game. So, especially whenever you get him in that ult, there's no reason not to have Sonic boost. It will easily make it that much easier to kill the people. Now, the first thing you need to go for is Fafnir's. The lifesteal, the attack speed. Every time he gets 5 hits, he gets that whip that allows him to attack quicker, more normal attack, true damage. Obviously, it's the best choice. There's no way Omen would be who he is without Fafnir's. It's like his own little item. So the second one that I usually go for, it's either Mantle of Ra or Shield of the Lost. Now, the thing with Mantle of Ra is there's an extremely strong iteration of it for if you want to carry, which is the Beast right afterwards. And this is insane for killing jungle, for killing everybody. But the biggest problem is if you have 2 ADCs or let's say 2 jungles, just like Batman and Slayer Lane, and then Wukong in jungle, and they just jump you, you're gonna die faster than you can even get that lifesteal, so it's not gonna help. But this is an extremely strong build if you have to go against, let's say, a Scud and a Lumber. So keep that in mind. You can make 2 builds. You always should, just in case of certain matchups. The game allows you to make 3. Why not use them? So, but this is extremely aggressive. If you really just want to play it safe, you don't want to carry, but you also want to just be important in every single team fight, then you can just go with this. Which, oops, Odin's Will. Odin's Will is, again, just great. 10% extra damage. You're going to keep him in that cage. This will make you insane at team fights. You'll basically be quite unkillable. Now, I do think that even if you want to go with a defensive build, then it's worth your time to get Veneers. It's just a great item. With the last item being Rock Shield, so Rock Shield is very helpful because you can pop it, and then it allows you to give you more time to, let's say, use your ult on the ADC. It just basically guarantees it because you're not going to die while you're trying to search for it. So, like I said, if you want to be really aggressive, you can. You also don't even, after Mantle of Ra, you don't have to do the Beast. I do recommend it, though. Mantle of Ra is really good for taking Slayer as well, so keep that in mind. So here for Lubu. Now, with Lubu, he's extremely mobile. So getting stunned is a bigger nuisance than for a character like Scud. Spear of Longinus is going to be the first item. He has a 10-second cooldown for every item, or each and every ability I meant. So, the cooldown reduction is going to reduce every single one by 1 second, which is already, that may not seem like a big deal, but it's a massive deal, and it can also reduce the ults by like 4 seconds. It's basically whenever we start adding the other items. Now, there's 2, again, Hyoga's Edge, always good, but Shield of the Lost is usually the play here, just because you don't, you're gonna get really tight with every enemy you get with, because you have the most range with your special one, dodge. So, it's just easily the best. And again, Omni Arms, Lubu's kind of like a Tara in the way that all of his abilities are kind of long. So getting that cooldown reduction and just getting everything else on top of it is amazing. And not only that, but normal attacks increase movement speed by 10%. Like, you're gonna catch up to whoever you're trying to go against. Which is why Lubu's such a strong warrior, because he can easily reach anybody. Amulet of Longevity, or you can easily, I don't see why you'd go for Odin's Will or anything else. Sure, maybe to be faster, but again, cooldown reduction, you're gonna want it, especially with his ult. And then I usually like to do Rock Shield, make yourself invincible in the late game, and allow yourself more time to pick the ADC. It's just great. Especially, and this is basically the best team fight. If you're not really looking at team fight, you want to carry, you want to be the reason why your team's winning, and just be an extremely aggressive player. Again, the Beast. I can't speak of how underrated it is as a weapon. That lifesteal is just insane. Now, some people actually don't understand this, but Bloodthirsty Bow is only usable by ranged heroes, so just in case anybody saw it, why isn't he using that? So, Superman's a little complicated character. There is so much that goes into him, but, the first thing we can immediately say is Gilly Graves. Obviously, if you're getting stun tapped by Lubu, you're not going nowhere as a Superman. Which is why you gotta have Purify. It's a lot to deal with. It's extremely irritating. So, there's people that use Rainbreaker, which, increases movement speed, you break armor and all that, but I don't exactly think that's the play. I think the best play with Superman's always been Frost Cave. After using this skill, the next normal attack reduces movement speed by 30% and deals 150. Now, and this has been one of my biggest strategies, is whenever you hit somebody, if you use your S2, within 2.5 seconds, you can have your super speed back. And then, when you reduce their movement speed by that much and you get some good damage, you can actually push them right back. It's a little complicated strategy, but in the early game, it works if you pull it off. The next best item is Rainbreaker. Again, the movement speed and armor penetration is extremely important for Superman. A lot of them gotta have damage. It's an extremely important trait to be able to tank and be able to push. Shield of the Lost. I don't think there needs to be a lot of explanation for this. It's just a great item. Odin's Will, and then Amulet of Longevity, or Rock Shield. Whatever. Just a lot of defense. You want to be able to tank because as Superman, you're getting deleted. Alright. ADC should be targeting you since you're going to do the most damage. Florentino's another one of is the best warrior, or the second best. Only second is Superman if. You're going to want Sonic Boost. You're going to take a lot of normal attack, especially since you have to be the tightest and you're going to be in that fight for the longest. Now, this is a kind of hard for even me to choose nowadays, but I think that as like a Florentino, he comes with enough damage. If you're not dying before you kill, I don't know. I just think that if you take less damage, you usually will win the fights. And Shield of the Lost is one way to deal with that. And then with him, he doesn't exactly do critical chance damage. So for the most part with Florentino, we're just gonna go Cleave Scanty just to get some crits. Mimosa to break through the armor. Now you can interchange them. I'd keep Mimosa first, but do as you will. And then you just build the last two defense. Again, Rock Shield. We're going to get it earlier this time because nothing's better than being invincible. I keep telling people Rock Shield's the best. And Blade of Eternity is also great. So, I just wanted to know. Alright. Moving on to Volkov. Again, Volkov's extremely strong in team fights, which is why I always say Sonic Boost, take less normal attack damage. You don't want to die by ADC. Period. Not as a Volkov, so it'll help. 5 minutes isn't really helpful, which is why you don't look at the top 10 builds again. They tell you to get Fafnir's, and it's just a horrible idea. Please Scanty is a great decision here. Volkov has the ability to do a lot of damage early game, and but at the same time, it's like choose your matchups. If it's a Florentino, nah. If it's a Florentino, you just put on that Shield of the Lost, and you get lost. But again, it's always about the matchup. Mimosa's great. I like to go for Mimosa as early as I can to get rid of Slayers. But, I understand why people put it a little later. And, I do it for my main build, but I'm also saying that, that's not a bad idea if you want to go for Mimosa as early as possible. Because Volkov, with his ult, once you got your second item, you can already go down. If you're doing damage to the support as well, on top of everything else you're already doing as a Volkov, it's not a bad decision at all. Not in the slightest. So then you go for Omni Arms. Cooldown reduction. Again, that's what you're kind of looking for. You can need to do that as Spirit of Longinus. Spirit of Longinus will have a little bit more cooldown reduction, so Fusion Blossom. I do like the extra health though. Here we're gonna go for Rock Shield. Again, it doesn't need to be said. Just simply two of the best items. So, I could make a build for Arthur, but, I mean, Arthur's just horrible. I think everybody recognizes he is the worst warrior. It is what it is. You know, he's meant to be a tutorial character for a reason. He's as simple as it gets, and he's bad. Errol is, he does really good at long range engagements. You're not usually going to be just drilling them with normal attacks. You usually want to back up, keep using your S2. So Gilzy Breeze is the best choice here. But I don't think that War Boots is bad with Errol here. He is quite quick. Now, for the first item, we'll go with Errol doesn't really die early game, so you can just build Omni Arms, get all the evens, and then I'd say just like with an Errol build, where you're more than likely going to be pretty good at skirmishes, not really team fights, but he can definitely get it work. So for a team fight build here, Hyoga's Edge. If not Hyoga's Edge, and you're just looking for more skirmishes, or not skirmishes, but team fights, then, I mean, you can just go Shield the Lost. Again, there's not a lot of choices here, but, I mean, these are easily the best. But Hercules Madness is also this is like the only time I would actually recommend it, is on the Arrow build, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Really underrated ability. I mean, wow, this thing will destroy if you give it the chance to. But a lot of people don't really use it because they don't understand it. So I'm going to do a little explaining here. Increase lifesteal by 20% and gains a shield with hero level of 80 times plus 800 points for 8 seconds when HP is below 40%. That literally means, let's just do the math real quick, right? So we already get a good amount of lifesteal on top of the already basic stats that come with it. So hero level, let's say level, at the time you would get this item, you'd probably be level 8, right? Level 8 times 80 plus 800. That's actually quite a lot to put in. 8 times 8 times 80 plus 800. Wait, did I put that in right? Okay. 8 times 80 plus 800. I did put it in right. 1,440 extra health. Or shield, I meant. That's a lot of shield for 8 seconds in the fight. Including the lifesteal. It's a great item. Next item. Give me a little longevity. When you're playing Arrow, there's a lot of downtime. Again, like I said, you usually pull off of fights a lot to get your S2, your S1, your ult. It's not a bad idea to go for early. And this is one of the builds where I actually say you want to build a shit ton of defense so you don't get mollywopped. But at the late game, you kind of just fucking send it with veneers and either Rainbreaker or the Beast. With Rainbreaker, you'll be able to kill those tanks easier, but at the same time, the Beast will allow you to be in the fight longer, so pick your poison. On to the next warrior, Alien. Alien is... the biggest problem with a lot of Alien builds is they seem to have a lot of complications on like whether defense or attack is more important, because the alien can die so easily as he has some of the lowest HP in the warrior category, but he also has some of the highest damage in the entire warrior category. But you have to build certain items to get there, right? With a Scud, I don't really have to build as much magic to do a shit ton of it. With Alien, I do. So, Sonic Boost is important because you're going to be on top of them the entire time. There's no backing off when you're playing Alien. You stick onto them, and that's why. And any character like that, you want Sonic Boost. But Anti is, or Sancti, whatever. It's a hard choice here because you want those kills early game. So, if your mage is rotating up top, if you have any control of getting your mage to come up, get Cleave Scanty. Get those early game kills as soon as you can. If you can't, let's say it's a Florentino matchup, then I usually would just go for Mantle of Ra or Shield of the Lost. Again, you want a lot of damage, but at the same time, maybe that extra health is the best. Again, it's like, I personally like Mantle of Ra just because I love the aggression. But you also do build that health, so it'll actually, it can make a big difference when you're fighting a warrior. Please sanitize now. Now you have to get it. We have to start building damage with Alien, because this is where he'll start scaling up in the game, is by the time he gets his Cleave Scanty. Immediately after that, we can just go for Devil's Handshake. Wow. These are going to be really good. You need a lot of critical and attack speed, because every single time he does critical damage, it turns to true damage. And the more you attack him, his S2 cooldown reduction lowers as well. So the faster you can attack, the better. Double Handshake is by far the best item you're going to get here. Now, this is the biggest problem people don't realize. Again, it's Rock Shield. It's the answer. If you're looking to survive and do a shit ton of damage, get Rock Shield. I know of some Thorn builds of Rock Shield. Like, get it. It's not a bad thing. It's really, really good. And then at the end, again, Alien's going to destroy Veneers. Pretty easy build. Next, Warrior Irie. Now, Irie has a lot of long range engagement, so again, build the Greaves. And we can go straight to attack because she has a lot of survivability. You're not exactly worried about dying early game with an Irie with all the dashes you'll get. So, immediately we can just go for some great damage, Cleave Scanty. This is a great item. Most ADCs are using this because, it builds the most damage in the earliest game. So, we can, Irie can get away with building this as early as she wants. Now, the second item, either you can play it safe and go for defense. I don't think that's necessary, though. But if you do want to play safe, I do recommend the Mantle of Ra without question. You don't need that much. You don't need Shield of the Lost type of survivability with Irie. Not as early in this game. So, once you get Mantle of Ra, again, you're chilling. We can immediately start building a ton more damage. The Beast is a great choice here. Lifesteal. If not the Beast, though, if you really just want to absolutely delete everybody in the vicinity, Blitzblade. She's basically an ADC in the terms of how she does damage and the way she plays. Irie's an extremely interesting character in that way. But here now as an ADC, but as a warrior, you do gotta start building health. So, a great choice, Rock Shield, and then Amulet of Longevity. Rock Shield is just so good. So underrated. Who have we not covered? Like I said, I'm not covering any jungles like Xanis. It wouldn't make sense for them. It wouldn't make sense for you to play him at a high level. Tachi. Now, Tachi's not meant for the Slayer lane. Like, he's a horrible warrior. He's absolutely down horrendous. And they basically should have just put him down. But nevertheless, I'll cover him for whatever. Sonic Boots, because you have to hit him in all 4 angles to activate your ability. You're gonna be pretty close and get a lot of normal attack damage. So that's the play there. Again, a lot of defense. He actually builds damage through defense as well, so we can just build some pretty basic items. Now, this is kind of interesting, is whether you want to get Spirit of Longinus or Fafnir's. I think it's easily Fafnir's. I just think it's such a great item. It's so good with Tachi. Like, when a character doesn't do a shit ton of damage, Fafnir kind of balances them out in that way. I don't know. Fafnir's is just a great item. And then you can just build all defense for Tachi. You're not going to get kills. It is what it is. He's a horrible warrior. There's no reason to not just get all defense. But yeah, I think that's all warriors to cover. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Wonder Woman's a support, not a warrior, so I'm not covering her. Yeah.